Hey mathematicians, welcome to class today. I'm Miss Barnes and this is your math lesson. Our objective today is I can solve addition problems by putting two groups of objects together. So today we're going to be working with questions that ask us to put two groups of objects together in order to find the sum. The sum is the answer to an addition problem. Today, the only materials you'll need for our lesson are counters. That just means any object that you have around your house that is safe to use and that you can use to count. That will aid you in our lesson today. So grab something really quickly that will help you count. If you don't have anything, that's okay, because we're going to use models on our screen today. So take a moment now, grab your tools, and let's get ready to learn. We are going to be talking about two problems. They're both going to be story problems. So the first thing we have to do is read the story from start to finish. Then we'll talk about the next steps. Let's read together. While walking, I saw two birds flying. Then I saw four red birds sitting in a tree. How many birds did I see? So now let's think about that. The first part says, I saw two birds flying. Then I saw four red birds sitting in a tree. And the question says, how many birds did I see? So I'm going to take my highlighter tool and I'm going to highlight the question that we are going to answer today. And the question that we are going to answer today is, how many birds did I see? If that is our question, the first thing we have to do is we have to write an answer statement. I saw blank birds. Now this blank down here at the bottom of your screen, this one right here, this blank just says that we don't know how many birds I've seen yet. We have to count them. So now let's go back to the problem. While walking, I saw two birds flying. We're going to stop there. So I'm going to take the two birds and I'm going to make them fly. So here's one bird flying and there's two birds flying. The next sentence says, then I saw four red birds sitting in a tree. So I take my red birds and we're going to move them to the tree. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now the next thing we have to do is we have to count and we have to add. So the first thing I'm going to count is this group of birds that are flying. How many birds are flying? I see one bird flying and two birds flying. So down here, I'm going to write 2. That's how many birds are flying. And then I'm going to write an addition sign. Addition sign means we're going to put them together, okay? So when we're saying this out loud, we're going to say 2 and we'll fill that out as we keep going. Are you ready for the next part? So the next part says, then I saw four red birds sitting in a tree. So we can think about the problem or we can count this group of red birds sitting in the tree. And we know that there are four red birds in the tree. And if you don't remember that from the problem, you can count them. So I have four red birds sitting in the tree. So 2 and 4. And then we have to write an equal sign. An equal sign we can say with the word is. So 2 and 4 is, and then we have to think about putting them together. So let's go back up to our drawing. I'm just going to erase what we have up there. And now what I'm going to ask you to do is count all of the birds together. So I'm going to try and write the numbers as we count. You may not be able to see them. So here's one red bird. So there's one red bird, 2, 3, let me switch to white, 4. Then we have to count the other birds as well, but we have to count on 4. So we stopped at 4. This bird over here is 5, and the bird underneath is 6. So now I know that 2 and 4 is 6. So let's finish our addition sentence. Our addition sentence says 2 plus 4 equals, and what does 2 plus 4 equal? Well, that's right, we said it was 6. Great. The last step is we have to answer our question. Do you remember what our question was? Let's go back to the problem, and remember I highlighted it in yellow, and let's read it again. So this says, how many birds did I see? And we know from all of our counting and adding that I saw 6 birds. So in your answer statement at the bottom of the screen, we're just going to fill 6 in because I saw 6 birds. Great job on that problem. That took a lot of brain power. Are you ready for the second one? I'm going to clear all my drawings here and let's go to the next problem. Remember, when we have a word problem, the first thing we have to do is what? That's right, we have to read it from the start to the finish. So I'm going to read this to you and I want you to listen for numbers that we might want to put together, groups of objects that can be put together. Are you ready? On the counter, there are some cupcakes. 3 cupcakes have chocolate frosting, and 5 cupcakes have vanilla frosting. How many cupcakes are there? So let's check your listening. Do you know what we're comparing and what we're putting together? What types of objects are we working with in this problem? If you said cupcakes, you're spot on. Great job. We're working with cupcakes. So we know that after we read it, then we have to find our question and write our answer statement. So let's look for the question. Remember that a question ends in a question mark. So the question here looks to me like, how many cupcakes are there? That tells me that they want to know how many cupcakes there are in all. So I need to count all of the cupcakes on the counter. Now that we know what question we're answering, let's write our statement. There are blank cupcakes. And remember that blank goes there because we don't know how many there are yet. We still have to count them. Now we're going to make a model. So my problem says 3 cupcakes have chocolate frosting. So I'm going to find my chocolate cupcake. Here's my chocolate frosting, and I'm going to put 3 on the counter. 2 and 3. Great. The line continues with, there are 5 cupcakes that have vanilla frosting. So I'm going to get my cupcakes that have vanilla frosting, and I'm going to move those over as well. Ready? Count with me. 1 vanilla, 2 vanilla, 3 vanilla, 4 vanilla. We got to squeeze one more in here. 5 vanilla. And we're just going to take these and get them out of the way so that they don't confuse us. So the top row has 3 chocolate frosted cupcakes. The bottom row has 5 vanilla frosted cupcakes. How many cupcakes are there in all? So I'm going to pull my drawing tool back out. And in order to find how many cupcakes there are in all, I really need to count the individual groups and put them together. So we know that there are 1, 2, 3 chocolate frosted cupcakes, so 3. And how many vanilla frosted cupcakes do you see on your screen? I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 and 5 is how many? How many cupcakes do you see in all? Can you count them? Let's start from the bottom. So we know there are 5 vanilla frosted cupcakes. So 5, count on with me. 5, 6, 7, 8. That means that there are 8 total cupcakes. 3 and 5 is 8. Great job today, boys and girls. I hope you learned a lot about putting together groups of objects in order to find the sum. Next up is science with Miss Schumacher. See you next week.